Today we're going to dig into the scrap pile here. We're going to make this block, and we're not going to make just one of this block. We will also make two. So I will show you a two-at-a-time method for making this block. This block is called the birds in the air. And it's actually pretty simple to make it as a two at a time, but it is something where you have to have the layout just right to be able to do it, and there are going to be some unconventional sizes here, so just keep that in mind. For this, I will need 3-inch squares for those HSTs there, the half square triangles in this, because we're going to do two at a time half square triangles for this. What I'm going for is, this is more kind of sunset colors or sunrise colors. And then I need my 3-inch squares for this fabric here, which is the larger part. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mark this diagonal to diagonal. And that way I have my line so that I can go ahead and stitch these. This is a friction pin. They iron away. Generally speaking, you don't want that on a spot where it's going to be shown, but this is where you cut, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't ever get shown. So I can pair that one up with this one. And really, you only need 3 HSTs in order to be able to do these two at a time. But like I said, this is scrappy, so I have a lot of scraps that I can work with. I actually want to make this be pretty scrappy because I think that's more fun. And the more of these squares that you have out of your scraps, then you can spread these across a whole bunch of different blocks, create a very interesting kind of a look to it. We have that one. And for this, you could clip it with a binding clip, or I'll just go ahead and just secure with a couple of pins because that's fine. And I'll go ahead and do a few more of these, and then these will be ready for the next step, which is to sew the two at a time. So here I have the HSTs. If I didn't say it before, of course you want to have your right sides together. And then what you want to do is this line here, you want to match that up with 1/4 of an inch. So I have a marking on my plate. If you don't have a marking, then just put some tape down at the 1/4 of an inch from the needle, and then you follow that. And here's one that I just need to put the other side onto. So now that we have that, I can get rid of that pin. And I'm just going to get rid of this pin as well, because I don't really need it. You could just go with one pin because these are small enough. If you're making large enough HSTs, then you probably want 2 pins. And here we go. So we have 2 HSTs. I just need to cut these apart and press them, and we can go on to the next step. Now I have these pressed. You can press to the side or you can press open as I have done here. You will need to get these trimmed down to 2.5. There's a couple ways to do that. This here is called a slotted trimmer. It's by like New Leaf Stitches, so that's the package that it comes in. This one can do on the half. I can just line that up, and then line that up. I have my line there, the 2.5-inch line. I can just line that up and line that up. Now, what's nice about these is that before I even press them, I can actually trim them to where I get those dog ears trimmed off beforehand. So that's really quite useful. But I did not want to take the time. And so here we have like the angle there. I can match that up. So I'll try to put that into a part of the cutting mat where you can see that. Now I have that matched on the seam line. I have it matched in that corner that is marked on the ruler. So it's nice and accurate that way. And that is one method. You can also just use a conventional ruler to do this. This, you want to have a ruler that has a 45 degree that goes all the way into the corner. I have this ruler here. So with this, I have to make sure that my corner here does not end up slipping inside of that 2.5. So I have that. It looks like I'm pretty good. So now I can go ahead and trim this. And on the underside of this ruler, I have skateboard tape. That makes it so this ruler does not slide around. So if you have problems with shifting, you might want to consider putting skateboard tape on the bottom of your ruler. I find that works actually very well. I am lining this 45 on the seam again, and now I'm lining up with the 2.5 and the 2.5 lines there. And then I can just go through, get that cut, and those are all nice and trimmed. And now I am ready to go ahead and do the layout. So the layout's a little tricky. And by the way, if this seems like this gets too small of a block, I will tell you how you can scale this up. So stay tuned at the end of the video where I'm going to share that. So I have all of these that I did, plus I have these from the first batch that made the 2 blocks there, because I wanted to have some nice diversity. I'm going to go ahead and start the layout. Now, it's very important. You need to have rectangles. So these rectangles that are going to work with this are 2.5. So that's going to be 2.5 that fits right up to those HSTs. And then you need 3 1/4. So it's kind of a strange measurement there, but it's really important to make it a 2 at a time. So we have the 2.5 by the 3 1/4 rectangles. I have several here that I can choose from. I definitely don't need that many. I only need 3. But I like to have some so I can just kind of pick and choose what I want to go with. So the first thing that I want to do in this layout is I want to have a rectangle that is up in the upper left corner there. And then I am going to pick my HSTs. So I'm going to put another yellow next to it. So I'm going to put that one there. And then now I'm going to go ahead and shift to this yellow. I think that's nice. All right. And this is going to be our first row. For the second row, we're going to have, I'm going to start doing some orange here, I think would be nice. So we're going to have that, and that one's all the way to the edge. And then, let's see, I think I'm going to do this one right here. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay, so I'm going to do that one. And then, let's see, I think I'm going to put this one over here. So let's see, that one goes like that. And then now I do my third row, which is my last row. So I'm going to go ahead and put that one there. And then I like this one. I'm going to put this one in there. I think that's nice. Whoops, need to put it like that. And then I need one more rectangle, so I'm going to put this one here. And then layout is not only important for these rectangles, it's also important for the HSTs. If you look on here, I have these kind of pointing towards the big triangle. And so if you look at it that way, it's going to be bisected that way. So you want those to point towards what that big triangle is going to be there. And then for these, you want them pointing towards what the big triangle is going to be on this side. I have all of the pieces for that layout right here. So as you can see, they're all there. And I have them stacked this way just so that they're in the order that I want to do them. So I'm going to grab the first 2 right here. Okay, so that I can set aside. And then I need these 2. So I'm going to put those together. All right, and then those 2 are aside. And now I need to put these 2 together, and I'm going to put that one aside over here. Okay, so these are the furthest to the right. So I have these, and I'm going to go ahead and just leave these 2 just to make it so that it's easy for me to kind of keep everything in order. And I'll just put those like that and put it aside. And then this one right here, I'm just going to do a gentle press to the side, but I'm going to press it open. So we're going to put these 2 together. All right, now I need that one off there. Okay, so I'm just going to do a gentle little press to keep that out of the way. So now we have that. And now I have that one. So I'm going to get that pressed just a little bit to the side just to get it to lay flat. And then I can get that one on there. Okay. So now I have all of these. I'm going to go ahead and press these. Here it is all nice and pressed. Now I did state before you could press to the side if you wanted to, but here is my pitch for why you want to press these open. So I have all of these pressed completely open. And by doing that, it makes it so that I do not have to do any weird little snip in the middle of the seam before I even stitch things. Because when you press to the side, at least all the methods I've seen on how to do a 2 at a time birds in the air feature snipping somewhere in the middle, introducing the possibility of some weakness and instability in the final block. So for this, we have another rectangle, and this rectangle is 7.5 by 6.5, and it is a lot easier to just position all of those seams on the top so that whenever the sewing machine is going over, it's just easier. And so for this, I'm going to go ahead and I want a 45-degree angle. So once again, I have the trimmer tool. So if you have a triangle tool, that can be great too. What I want to do is, let's see, that's totally the wrong way. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to rotate it this way, and then I'm going to see if I can get those points to where they're not totally taken out. And I think we're looking pretty good there. We look like we're somewhat squared up on the side there. So I can just take a friction pen. Now this will be a stitching line. So if you're uncomfortable with the possibility of a friction pen not completely staying out, then you could shift to some other, so that's going to be like that, okay? You could shift to some other form of marking, like one of those blue water-soluble markers for the quilters, that kind of thing. So that would work as well. And then I'm just going to line that up with the seam line. Now, when I did these, I actually marked it down the center with a 45-degree, and it ended up working out perfectly. But I think for the sake of this demonstration, I'm going to take a tactic that is a little friendlier to a beginning approach on this block. Okay, so they might be a little faint, but they're there, and I am going to go ahead and follow those. And right now I could still reposition this and then just secure with some pins. It's really the best thing for this. Just get some pins in there. I think that's good. All right, and now I can sew this. So I'm following those seam lines. All right, here we go, and look at that. That looks pretty good. Got some nice points there that are still intact. I'm going to cut these apart and press them, and then we get to see the final blocks. And here they are, those two birds in the air blocks that I just finished up. And then I have these two from before. So you can do all kinds of really fun things with these. Like here's that layout. Or you could have a layout, let's see. Let's do a layout like this maybe. Yeah, that looks nice. So you could do a layout like that. Or you could do these together, something like that. You could do like this, and then that way it's almost kind of like it's arrows going up, which would be kind of fun. Let's see. Yeah, like that. That could be like arrows going upward. Or you could have these together. So you could have something like that where it looks like a pinwheel. So all kinds of really great sorts of things that you could do with this. Personally, I like something where, it's maybe like this, or the style where you do it like this, because I think this kind of looks like this phenomenon that starlings do that's called murmuration. And so murmuration, they'll do like the birds will fly in kind of this chaotic formation in the sky, and it looks really interesting. You should look up that term if you haven't heard of that before. Oh, and then if you wanted to know about scaling this up, because these finish to 6.5-inch blocks, which means sewn in, they're 6 inches. So that might feel like it's too small for you because you would need quite a lot of blocks for a full bed-size quilt. So if you want to scale this up, it's pretty simple. These started at 3 inches for making the 2 at a time HSTs. So if you wanted to scale that up, you could do 4 inches, 5 inches, 6 inches, etc. And the only thing you have to worry about is those rectangles. So the rectangles in the 9 packs that you form up will change. If you ended up having 3.5-inch HSTs, then you will have a 3.5-inch by 4.25-inch rectangle. So basically what you're doing is you're adding 3/4 of an inch to make that long edge every single time. And then all you're doing for the large rectangles when you do that final step of sewing is you're just adding an inch to create the longer side. So 3.5 inches, we know that that's going to end up being 9.5 inches for the shorter side. So that means that you need a 9.5 by 10.5-inch rectangle to put on that to make your 2 at a time. And so you can just simply calculate it that way, where it's just an extra 3/4 of an inch on the small rectangles and it's just a 1 inch extra on the large rectangles. It's pretty simple. So I hope this has been interesting to you. Perhaps I have introduced you to a block that you have not seen before, or maybe you've seen this block and you couldn't quite figure out how to put this together without having a lot of waste of fabric or having it be kind of strange, bias sewing. If you did like that, then feel free to share this video, save it somehow, and like the video. That always helps. And until the next time, happy sewing.